Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Pistone. I'm the marketing manager at Neenah Paper, and I'm going to walk you through our new promotion called Create Impact. This cover was designed for impact. From the rich velvety feel of the touche mink to the colorful stair-stepped hint of what's inside, this definitely captures your attention. So you'll see there's 4 distinct sections, and this is really designed to highlight the way that consumers interact with brands at different points in the customer journey. So it starts out with hello, and this is about standing out. What are you doing to rise above and get noticed above all of the digital and marketing noise that's out there? Remember me? This is a section that refers to staying top of mind. Just because you put something new out there doesn't mean it's timed with the moment of need in the consumer journey. So what are you doing to make sure that your brand is the first one they think of? In real life is all about how print is very important in building trust and credibility. And then Forever Yours is about brand loyalty and how when you're doing these things and you're resonating with consumers, you create brand loyalty. You'll notice that we are printing that front cover with metallic ink and you've got a gold foil stamp. And then you'll see the foil stamp on each of the stair-stepped images. So let's dive in. The inside front cover, I love this word here, experiences. This is about print being truly an experience. It's different than digital. It engages more senses. It creates intrigue. And that's what this piece is all about. So you'll see we start with our first section, hello. And this is where we explore fresh ideas that stand out and get attention. Now, getting attention is critical for any brand. It's equally as important for a brand new startup as it is for an established brand. And in this section, we're going to walk through 6 different ways to grab attention and create a memorable impression. And I'll also start by saying that throughout this book, just know that we created a fictional brand called June and Sage. So it's just using that as an example. It's a store like lifestyle and fat clothing store that people might go to, but it allows us to give you kind of like real life examples of what some of your customers might be doing. Our first example is a catalog cover. And as you may know, catalogs are making a comeback. A lot of that has to do with today's consumers being tired of the online-only marketing. Now, printed catalogs are often stylized. They showcase lifestyle, they're aspirational. And for premium brands, uncoated paper feels more upscale. So here you see some classic stipple, which really elevates this catalog. It would make it stand out in the mail. And then when you turn the page, you'll see on the back of that is a beautiful image of a bowl printed also on the same paper. And that is also using the stipple finish to highlight the texture of the bowl, really making a stronger connection to the product. Now, as you look to the right, you'll see the next page, and this sort of coordinates. You'll notice as you go through the book, each page is a separate sort of product or idea, but they all sort of work together and they coordinate, giving designers and brands more ideas on how they can utilize different papers together. So I really love the way the second page really coordinates with the backside of the catalog cover. And that's where we're looking at what might be store signage. Maybe this is a small brochure or even a mailer. But this is promoting a store loyalty program in this example. So that would be our Juna Perks Rewards program. And what's really interesting about this is the tech weave Epic Black is what makes this feel very exclusive, almost like an invitation. It's so much more compelling and desirable than a standard coated gloss brochure. The power of print here is in the tactile. It's not just conveying the information. And because it feels premium and exclusive, it will likely drive more people to sign up. And when you turn the page, you'll see on the back of that is another beautiful example of utilizing that texture with simple print techniques like metallic ink, and then there's a red foil stamp, which coordinates perfectly with our next sample. Now, can you imagine receiving this envelope, this red envelope, and not opening it? The envelope can be the most important part of your direct mail. So goal number 1, you got to remember, most people are focused on that message inside, but goal number 1 is you have to get them to open it. So using a colorful, unique envelope is so important to any direct mail campaign. Now, goal number 2 is to get someone to act. You want them to do something with the information. Now, in this example, we want them to come to our store. So we're promoting a free in-store event, and we're using both the paper and the shape to grab attention. So it's shaped like a table runner with a plate sitting on top, which is perfect for our tablescape workshop. Now, secondly, the mailer is a coupon, which also serves to drive traffic. Now, turn the page and you'll see there's a QR code there, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I want you to focus on this sample of box wrap. And here you're going to be able to talk about packaging, and beautiful packaging is what draws people in. It's what they see first on a shelf. It feels premium, it's giftable, not to mention the protection and storage that it offers. So here you're feeling a sheet of Neenah box wrap, and it's used for a rigid box. Look closely and notice the slightly iridescent look to it and the super premium feel. So you might be wondering, but how does this look on an actual box? So that QR code on the left-hand side on the red envelope is what you can scan, and when you do that, you'll see the package come to life on Idea Shop. So we actually built that box. You'll see a couple different views of it, and it really opens the door to conversations about secondary packaging and customizing it to fit any product. And with Neenah's box wrap papers, you have a wide range of options to offer any customer. It's just such an exciting way to add another strong branding element to any packaging. Our next page is a companion piece to our Reed diffuser box, and that's the essential oils that would go with it. So here we're taking another opportunity to showcase some secondary packaging, and in this case it's a folding carton. Now you could just place a bottle on the store shelf, but when you present it in a more elegant way, it really enforces the premium brand image. So we've created this stunning folding carton using Neenah folding board, Snow White. You'll notice the bright white uncoated surface. It really feels super premium, yet sustainable. And then if you look close, you'll see it's a sculptured emboss, which is very simple. You see it registered on the front of the carton and then the blind emboss on the sides. It's very simple, but it's very sophisticated. And then you'll see this same package come to life on Idea Shop along with the box wrap sample. So definitely check that out. It's a fun thing to have someone do during a presentation. They can just scan that QR code with their phone and see this project. Now, when we talk about print, we're usually thinking about physical materials like brochures and mailers and that type of thing. Now, wall covering is also print, and it's a physical printable material that has the power to totally transform a space. Now, how fun is it to show clients this bold, colorful print and get them thinking about different ways they can brand their space? Now, our Digiscape is a paper-based wall covering, so no PVCs, no off-gassing, and it's perfect for custom or seasonal decor. And a lot of times when you introduce a product like this to a designer and even to a printer, they don't realize that they have the option to specify this type of product. And it could just offer an opportunity for a designer to suggest one more part of a branding campaign for an interior. Now, underneath the sample, you'll see some suggested ideas to get people thinking of different ways they can use Digiscape. Okay, we're moving on to our next section, Remember Me. It's rare that marketing hits at the time of need. Think about it. When you see ads and catalogs for things like furniture, clothing, jewelry, cars, those aren't things that you buy every day, but you see marketing for them all the time. Now, when the need does hit, which brand comes to mind first? Remember Me is all about being bold, making sure that you're not only seen, but you're remembered. We want to build that aspirational feel, and print is a great way to plant those aspirations and desires into the brain. Now, Textile Tango is our example here. It's a brochure that connects on multiple levels. First off, the tech weave finish fits perfectly with the subject matter. The format is super engaging, it's really fun, and it creates that memory in the brain. So as you're showing this to someone, I guarantee they're going to start playing with it, looking at the format, thinking about it just like a consumer would. And it's kind of fun because when they do open it up, they'll notice that this is all one piece. There's no staples or glue. It's one piece of paper. And we have a little hidden Easter egg inside. So if your client is looking at this, we do offer that die line so they can do something just like this. Now, our next section is called In Real Life, and this really speaks to the real life experience of print and how that builds instant credibility. The bottom line is people trust what they can see and feel, because often there's a lot of skepticism when viewing ads online. People are hesitant to click and enter a credit card number. But when you receive print, it validates the authenticity of a company. I mean, if they're spending the money to print, then they're real. This is a great way to really talk about the value of print. And I love the stat that is printed inside. 81% agree that even as tech becomes more advanced, paper continues to play an important role. And really, it's about that trust and credibility. So here, I want you to take a look at just the colors in this spread. Using the Astro Bright's Planetary Purple and the Rocket Red, along with the gold and the burgundy. It's just a really fun combination of colors. And you can see how it all comes together with the print of our Color Block Party brochure. So Color Block Party is an in-store service offered by our fictional store, June and Sage, to help people find the colors that flatter them most. Again, just our example to showcase what you can do to build that trust and to build that credibility. Now, assume this is a multifaceted campaign. So this could be on social media or sent in an email, but by sending this actual brochure, in this case, it's also personalized, that really makes this service feel more real or legitimate. The personalization actually turns it into an invitation versus just a promotion. Print also sends that message of credibility. Now, while someone may have glossed over the social post, receiving this piece in real life could be what inspires them to make the appointment. Now, notice the actual brochure. The texture of Eames canvas on the outside really pulls people in, and the canvas speaks to textiles and fashion. The second signature is printed on Classic Crest Solar White, smooth, and then the personalized invitation page is classic embellishment papers. And you'll notice that beautiful gold foil, which is done digitally on the Scodex, is done right on the paper, no underprint required. And on the back of the piece, there is another QR code. So if anyone's asking you for the die lines, they could get to that site where we offer the die lines for this brochure as well. Have you ever heard the concept that when you capture the heart of a consumer, you have them for life? Well, it's true. Think about your favorite brands and your loyalty to them. It's really so much more than just the great product. Brand loyalty comes from a culmination of experiences and attention to detail. It's those details that resonate with the consumer. So now in our last example, June and Sage has a private label fragrance, and it's called Unity. And smartly, they offer it in 2 different packaging options. So it's the same product, but packaged using 2 different folding boards. So here are examples of Neenah folding board in wrought iron and white pearl with distinctly different looks. Both packages are created very simply with 1-color ink and a foil stamp. So you can see how different they look, but it's just such a smart idea, and it really emphasizes the role that paper plays in perception. In addition, choosing a paper color as a branding element rather than trying to print it guarantees more consistency from run to run, and even at different suppliers. And at June and Sage, it provides a really cool merchandising opportunity to grab attention. So when you turn the page, you'll see one more packaging idea for Unity. And here we have a single PMS brown on Neenah Folding Board Grosser Craft, creating a completely different vibe. So again, these three examples communicate that not only the amazing offering we have in one single brand, but it really amplifies the importance of specifying a paper. Remember, designers start on a white screen. They're not always thinking about paper. And this really helps emphasize the role that substrate plays in brand perception and the fact that it should be a brand choice, not a choice made at the end of the project or something that the converter decides on. The other thing I like about this page is our little cheat sheet. We added a printer setup checklist back here, and it's a great resource for any designer who doesn't maybe frequently do print. Maybe they're not sure but how to set up their files, but it offers some of those tips and tricks when they are designing for print. Now, when you go through the piece, it can be more impactful to focus on the ideas, like I just did with you, the different ways that print can create impact. Now, hopefully, some of these ideas make it into a client meeting to help sell a concept. And then when someone notices the texture or the color or the design of the different papers, rest assured, we have you covered. You'll notice throughout the piece, we have paper ID lines on every sheet. We also have complete production notes in the back of the piece. In addition, we make it super easy for designers to incorporate Neenah papers into their design from the start. Neenah Swatch Pro is an Adobe extension that works with the programs that the designers are using, like InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop. So when you're looking at those paper ID lines, notice that Neenah Swatch Pro number. We include it in every one. It's also in our swatch books, allowing the designer to simply plug in that number and that color and texture will pop into their artboard. So I hope you're excited to use this piece to create some impact out in the market. And as we've shown you, print is a critical part of any branding campaign. It's never meant to replace digital, but only to enhance it. So thanks for your attention, and I hope you enjoy it.